This video is about how to work with children with visual impairments in physical education.
Please make sure you come to class with me because I need support with physical education.
Please have high expectations for me, just as you would for a child who can see.
Please be sure to get me to class on time, and that I'm included in every way possible.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. The purpose of this video is to train orientation mobility instructors, teachers of the visually impaired, adapted physical educators, physical education teachers, and professional preparation students how to teach paraeducators to work with children with visual impairments in physical education. Everybody wants what's best for their students, so please keep in mind that it's fine to ask any of these professionals for help and support throughout your process. We would also like to take this time to thank the Fetzer Institute, the American Printing House for the Blind, the College at Brockport, and Camp Abilities for all their support with this video.
Make sure that you meet with the physical education teachers to ensure a clear understanding of their teaching style, philosophy, their experience with children with visual impairments, and to ensure that you both have all of your questions answered before class starts. Visual impairments. Children with visual impairments will have different types and levels of visual impairments. Some children will have acuity problems, which is issues with clarity of vision. Some children will have issues with field loss, which is issues with either peripheral vision, central vision, or visual fields. In some cases, children will have clear vision one day and loss of vision the next, which is cortical vision loss. Other children may have additional disabilities such as deafness, autism, cerebral palsy, or intellectual disability, in addition to the vision loss. Guiding techniques. Human guide techniques. When guiding a child who has a visual impairment, it is important for the child to grab the guide's elbow with the thumb out. Make sure the person guiding is verbal about upcoming terrain change, such as door opening on the left, stairs, or stepping up a sidewalk. There are several guide running techniques that facilitate running both with a guide and independently. This section will share some of those techniques. Running with a guide wire entails pulling a rope across a gym, track, or driveway or open area very tightly with a carabiner or handle on the rope. Make sure there is a clear marker at the end of the rope to signal the end of the running rope. Auditory running. A child could run to a caller or to a sound with a runner running ahead of him. Running on a treadmill allows a child to run freely and increase or decrease speed as needed. Make sure the electronic buttons on the treadmill are marked with clear tactile markings so the child can be independent on the treadmill. Another way for a child to run independently is to run in a circle with a 30-foot rope pulled tight attached to a large stake. A radio or metronome can be used to help the child know where they started. A child could be guided by a guide runner who gives the child their elbow, and the child grabs the elbow like the human guiding technique. In this way, both runners can swing their arms at the same time. If the runner is taller than the guide, make sure they hold their shoulder. It is important that the guide runner is faster than the child who is visually impaired, so the guide does not hold the child back. A tether is a short rope, shoelace, or towel. The guide runner holds one end, and the person who's visually impaired holds the other end. In this instance, both runners can swing their arms during the run. In this technique, it is important that the guide runner is faster than the child who's visually impaired. In many cases, when a child has usable vision, or if a child is very familiar with the terrain, a child can run independently. This is easiest around a track or in a quiet cul-de-sac. Teaching strategies. Tactile boards can be used when a child is learning a new sport to show them the boundaries, positions, to teach terminology, and describe the strategy and purpose of a game. A soccer field can be described first on a tactile board so the child can get an idea of the boundaries, center, goals, positions, and strategies. The same technique can be used for goalball and other sports, including the dimensions of a pool, a park trail, or a cross-country route. Pre-teaching is the idea that every child who has a significant visual impairment has adequate time to comprehend an entire unit before it begins. Pre-teaching should occur prior to any new unit. It can be done by the physical education teacher, adapted physical educator, paraeducator, orientation and mobility teacher, teacher of the visually impaired, or a trained peer tutor. It can be done before school, during recess, after school, during mobility class, before physical education class, or during a free period. It is important that the child understands the whole part whole, task analysis, tactile modeling, physical guidance, and co-active movement.
Please make sure you ask me which tactile teaching technique I prefer so that I am comfortable during class.
Adapting activities. Adapting equipment can be done by making it more auditory or bright or easier to catch by deflating a ball or by putting it in a sock. Adapting rules can be done by adding physical assistance. It can be changing boundaries. Adding an auditory cue. A child could play only offense or defense. Adapting instruction. The child could be taught with additional verbal instruction, tactile instruction with either tactile modeling or physical guidance. The child could be taught by a trained peer tutor. The child could have more tactile cues. Adapting the environment. Decreasing glare, excessive noise, or outside distractions is a key to instruction for children with visual impairments. Make sure the child is not facing the sun. Make sure to have very clear boundaries. Expanded core curriculum. The field of visual impairment has determined that children with visual impairments need additional instruction in some key areas to be prepared to be independent adults who utilize every aspect of their potential. This approach is called the expanded core curriculum, and the areas that are focused on are social interaction, self-determination, orientation and mobility, independence, compensatory and access skills, recreation and leisure, technology, career awareness, and sensory efficiency. Ensure consistent social interaction. Always tell the child who is in the gym when you enter. Ensure student knows what is happening during games and downtime. Ensure the child is partners with a peer. Promote social interaction skills by teaching peers how to socialize. Do not get between student and peers. Promote self-determination by allowing the child to have choices and ensuring that they learn what their peers are learning. Promote orientation and mobility by ensuring adequate pre-teaching, set up guide wires from base to base, activity to activity, or from weight machine to weight machine. Promote independence and leadership opportunities, such as team captain, squad leader, or demonstration leader. These types of opportunities will ensure the student knows they are independent and can be empowered to lead. Promote the concept of compensatory and access skills by showing the child how to modify a hockey game for her needs, a kickback game, or a basketball game so she can be included. These adaptations will help the child understand what they need to do to compensate for their vision loss and modify to meet the abilities that they do have. Recreation and leisure can easily be promoted in physical education by ensuring a foundation of motor skills, fitness, and opportunities that are typical. Technology is pervasive in physical education and can be implemented using talking pedometers, talking heart rate monitors, electronic fitness programs such as Nike Running application, Dance Dance Revolution, Wii Fit, and more. In some instances, they will need to learn adaptive techniques. Career awareness can be infused into physical education by introducing roles such as referee, manager, scorekeeper, journalist, announcer, publicist, news anchor, etc. Sensory efficiency can be promoted by playing beep baseball or goalball to promote the use of auditory skills. Running with a guide wire enhances the use of tactile skills. Dancing helps with the use of auditory and tactile skills. And weight training, yoga, and swimming all facilitate the use of tactile skills as well as auditory skills. For more information on the expanded core curriculum, see your teacher of students who are visually impaired or the orientation and mobility instructor. Infusion of these important concepts are worth the time and effort as they lead to independence and a better quality of life for children with visual impairments. Physical safety. Make sure all doors are either all the way open or all the way closed. Mark the entrance to any stairs, halls, closets, or entrances with a rug or rope covered with tape. Ensure that boundaries are clearly defined. Keep equipment in consistent places around the gym at all times. Show the child when you do move equipment so they know what to expect. Emotional safety. Ensure disability awareness at the start of the year to ensure peers know needs of the student. Do not allow any teasing or bullying. Discuss feelings at the beginning and end of each unit. Supervise the student. Ensure they have equipment they need. Ensure they know what is happening in class. Review what teacher asks of them for clarity. Children with visual impairments can be active and high-achieving athletes in physical education. With some very careful planning and dedication, you can ensure that they can perform to the best of their abilities and get the most out of each physical education class with their peers. Thanks to the Fetzer Institute, the American Printing House for the Blind, Campabilities, and the College at Brockport. For more information, please read Games for People with Sensory Impairments through the American Printing House for the Blind, and Physical Education, Sport, and Recreation for Individuals who are Visually Impaired and Deaf-Blind, Foundations of Instruction, through the American Foundation for the Blind.